Ginger Star, and welcome to another episode of Positive Power. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the power button. We all know what the power button is. That's the subscribe button. It just makes us feel more positive. It makes our day. It makes us smile. And today I have a very good friend to introduce. His name is Brian Vaughn. Welcome to the show. How are you today, Brian?
Thank you. I'm doing really good today. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be a part of something positive. How are you?
I'm doing positively terrific. All right, guys. So we have a word of the day, and today's word of the day is serenity. It's a very beautiful word. So those of you who are participating in the audience, don't forget to comment below how many times that the word was used. All right, and so our goal is to try to use that word throughout the interview. And you guys just comment below how many times did we use the word. If you get the number right, then your name will pop up on the next video and we'll give you guys a shout out. All right, so Brian, you said that you were a voice actor, and you also do like a lot of comedy, and you like to make people laugh, which brings, great things into the positive realm. So what type of characters do you voice?
Well, you see, first off, I'm going to just say it. If someone is commenting and trying to count how many times we use the word serenity, please don't hold that over me. I know I've had that so many freaking times in my world. It's like, yeah, I'm going to hold you to it, Brian. It's like, no, please, God, don't. I didn't do it. I didn't mean it. I voice like a lot of things, but you see, the thing is that a lot of people don't understand about voice acting is the biggest misconception is that everyone thinks that we're all impersonators. And I luckily am a little bit. And so when someone's like, yeah, can you do this voice for me? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? It's going to be great. As far as voices go in general, though, I mean, my biggest ticket to fame so far has been just narrating, reading audiobooks. I work for a guy on YouTube that has like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and I just narrate Dungeons and Dragons stories. And that for me, I'm like, ooh, that was a good little blessing, because I can kind of reach people at the end of the video. When in the middle of a video, you don't want to rant about something, but at the end of it, that's when like no one sticks around unless they want to hear something you say. So it's like, I'll just put like positive stuff in the back burner on that and be like, yeah, okay, if you've made it this far, I hope you guys are staying hydrated, stuff like that. And then I'll just like how you said, pick a word of the day. I'll pick a topic of the day for like 2 minutes at the most, maybe 3 if I'm feeling rambly that day, and just talk about something positive. It doesn't have to be anything super important or anything, but it's all about, like we said in the beginning, offering that serenity, which means, being calm, untroubled, peaceful, and all that. So I do that. When it comes to voicing in games or anything, I voiced in a little game on Steam called Potion Commotion, which is free to play now. It's just a little cutesy game. I have a couple that I can't talk about, but I mean, good Lord, that's going to be fun when those come out. I'm in a couple audio dramas. I'm in a couple audio books. I voice anything from serious characters, silly characters. Like I'll go on video games out of the blue and just start shouting in like Goofy's voice or Mickey's voice just to get someone to giggle their pants off. So like I do a little bit of everything, and anytime I go on to like a podcast or something, depending on how rowdy we get, some people will just say, dude, you have like the comedic timings of George Carlin. And I said, yeah, I try. That's sort of my vibe, is I just want people to enjoy their time talking and just not have to it's like the concept of just floating in the air like a bubble. Bubbles don't give a rat's ass what they're doing. They just want to be happy and float around in the sky and be happy. That's all they want to do until they pop. And it's like, well, that was short lived, but while it was there, it made someone happy, so there you go.
That's awesome. So, okay, so you say that you narrate Dungeons and Dragons. So, are you kind of like a narrator or like a dungeon master? Like, I've played Dungeons and Dragons a couple of times, and it's a fun game to get into, if anything. So, what exactly do you do for this YouTube creator? Are you allowed to give out names?
Oh yeah, his name's Mr. Ripper. You guys can go look at him anytime you want. I don't mind. Yeah, what happens is, and this is back in the day, back when I first started voice acting, I was picked up by him when he had like 10,000 subs, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for another voice actor to help out." And I was a little baby boy back then, so I didn't really know what was going on. And I'm like, "Yes, I can do exactly what you asked for." And then I looked at my dad, I'm like, "Holy crap, I'm gonna freaking die when I go on this thing. I don't know what I'm doing." And I go on, and everyone loved it because I saw the amount of reach we could get just by going online and say like you have a friend who says, "Yeah, I was just playing a video game or playing a game of D&D with my friends, and this really cool situation happened. I just want to tell someone about it." They give us the story, and we'll put it in a compiled video of like one of our biggest ones is what is it? Oh, come on, brain. Don't fail me now. I'm only 32. I shouldn't be having this. I really shouldn't be having this old man syndrome just yet. CRS, kids. You're going to get that someday. It's going to be bad. It's like, what was your silliest nat 20 or something? And I just would pick up stories that people have told and read them. And sometimes we'll get like a comment and someone like, "Oh my God, you read my story." And I'm like, "Yeah, we did." And he'll be like, "Oh, let me tell you another one." I'm like, "Oh, all right, sharing is caring. Here we go. I got this." And then we would have sometimes we did play D&D like on stream or stuff like that, and I was just a player for that. But no, for the stories, I just narrate the stories that we're given, and I give every single character that's involved like a voice as much as I can, and I try to make it as good as I can for them. And then at the end of the videos, after we're done advertising, like I said, I just pick something to talk about and try to bring a little bit of brightness to their day. See what happens.
Yeah, that
Simple,
was
quick,
totally
clean.
Serenity.
Listen. You could do. Let's count this synonyms for serenity as well. We have the ability to just have a little bit of tranquility as well. So there you go. Because people, I've had like I had this person. In fact, no, I'll say this because we talk about positivity on this podcast. I'll just say this: the amount of people that will message me on a daily basis saying, "Hey, Bri, your podcast or your videos, whatever, make my day a lot better." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Like, which ones? They're like, "Oh, the ones you narrate for Mr. Ripper." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. What's so good about it?" And they said, "Well, you're funny, first off." And I'm like, "Oh, good." They're like, "We love hearing you laugh because when you laugh like a psychopath." I'm like, "Thank you. I try. I made it myself. It's good. Just bottle it up, and it's just like a contagion right there." But like you said, it offers them at the very like end a little bit of serenity because they feel at home. They feel like they can actually. It's like that old feeling. If you're a '90s kid, you'd know this one. Going out with your friends and playing Halo in the middle of the night, and then falling asleep on the couch with all your buddies on the floor, and then waking up and having breakfast and stuff with your friends, like when you're like 12, 13 years old. I give them that kind of backlash again and make them feel like they can still have an imagination. They can still feel like they can wake up every day and not have to worry about the world being so chaotic. It's like I give them that brief moment of positivity. That's not like toxic either. I don't just say like, "Hey man, I love you. It's so good, man." It's like, no, hell with that. I just want to tell them your life has value. It doesn't to everybody, and that's the realistic optimism there. You got to be realistic with it. Not everyone's going to love you. But the people that do, and the people that will, and you should love yourself too. So I try to say that as nicely and as politely as I can, or honestly, I just say, "Hey, look, go hydrate, you dumbass. You haven't drank anything today, you haven't eaten today. Go." And someone will be like, "Yeah, bro, you reminded me that I didn't eat for 2 days straight." I'm like, "Well, what did you do? You go get food. Go cut Burger King or something. I don't care. Stuff your face." And he's like, "Okay, I will do that. Yes, sir." And I'm like, "All right, cool. There we go." But it's just one of those things where I just I see an influence. I have the ability to speak to thousands of people. If I ever get bigger as whatever I do personally, yeah, I'm going to still do that. Where I just say, "Hey, look, I'm not a professional, but I could be a professional dummy to make you laugh." So there's that. Whatever works, I suppose.
Oh man. Okay. What is okay? So aside from
Mm.
the Dungeon and Dragon narrator, what would you say is the most memorable character that you've ever voiced?
Ooh, most memorable character I've ever voiced. If we're talking about in like a game or something, it would still be and my girlfriend still doesn't know this because she hasn't played it yet because I said she wanted to do it on stream and whatnot. I did my very oh hold on my very first characters that I ever did were a bunch of extras for a game, but I'm like that's fun. but I was asked to be literally just like a dragon, like a creature, just not make anything vocal, just start making like little cutesy noises. And I went, well, that's weird. People pay for that? And the guy's like, well, yeah. And I said, oh, well, hell, I mean, what the hell? I could do that. And then he liked it. And then he said, because we were friends at that point, me and the guy Luke from Nerdy Bird Studios. He said, can you voice like an old man that's really like crotchety and kind of friendly and playful? Because it's a colorful, playful little game. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So I guess that would be most memorable in terms of a character from like a project I did, because it was my first real solid character. As far as impersonations go, everywhere I go, I can't escape any of my impersonations. Arnold Schwarzenegger, everyone wants to hear me scream and yell at them, or like, hey, I'm going to put my boss on the phone. Can you yell at him? I'm like, if you want to get fired, sure, I'm happy to get you fired anytime. If you want to get the raise, I can't help you. If you want to be into politicians, I can't do that either. I quit. So it's like, I mean, that I all of that is a thing. Really, I can't understand anything that's going on in my brain half the time though, because I can just come up with characters on the spot. I mean, I've done thousands of auditions. I'm not in a whole lot of stuff, surprisingly, but I've done enough that the people out there know me enough, despite having very limited actual work. And they're like, yeah, teach us to be a voice actor, man. And I'm like, listen, why me? I've done nothing. So yeah, I guess that would be mine, because it is my first real character I've done. So
That's awesome. That's really cool. Where were you when we were auditioning for Eagle Chest Knockout? That's all I'm gonna say.
I was existing solely to hate my colon for what it was trying to betray me with. But now I am here, so I'm happy to do anything you guys ever need. I'm always available.
I'll keep that in mind.
See, I'm good. See, that's what you got to do when you're on a podcast. Put the host on the spot and make him go, ooh, wait a minute. You got to get that double take in there. That's when you break the serenity, because then they're like, oh, wait, okay, I was calm. Now I'm not calm. What do I do with this?
All right, that's awesome. Well, do you have like any like personal accounts, like a website, or maybe like a YouTube page or something that any of our followers maybe you could like?
I mean, if you really want to shout me out with that, I've been redoing my TikTok, my YouTube, and all that, because I'll admit it. Every human being, we're really happy some days, and other days we are lazy. And I was not happy with the content I was putting out on those things. So I said, okay, let's just kill those and restart. So I took most of my stuff off of those, but I did actually make a website just the other day, because I'm a voice actor. I want people to know who I am, where I'm at. And it has every single social media profile on it. At the very bottom, you can find me at brianvaughnva.com. And it's a simple site, but that's what you need when you're voice acting. You need something simple, clean, elegant, that people just go in there and say, that's a breath of fresh air. So there you go.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, I am gonna put that information down below if you want to go check Brian out. We got to shout out all of our people that we interview, right? So, yeah, go check him out. Go check out his content. He is amazing.
If you stand on top of the head and you start doing like a handstand stuff, you can see the links down below. Now they're above you. So I don't know if that changes anything, but yeah, you can. That's where you can find me, everywhere, anywhere, and everywhere. I'm just with that exact phrase.
Awesome. Okay. And are there any like upcoming projects that our audience may be looking forward to, like within the next month or two, that we should check out?
Nothing that I can talk about. Because this is the first time in my life as a voice actor that I've had enough, not to kick a dead horse, enough serenity in my own mind to actually understand where to go forward and how to go forward. You just got to go walking into the fire with so much confidence that you're basically putting out the fire as you walk it. Can't be arrogant about it, but you got to be confident about it. And I'm starting to learn very quickly that will help you out, because out of the blue, I just got contacted by like 3 or 4 people that have really big projects, and I'm not in a lot. So I'm like, well, this is bizarre. So I had to Google it, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if these guys are legit. They're probably pulling my chain. Nope, they are all real, and I'll just say if you're into video games, yeah, I have a couple voices coming out for a couple games that are going to be pretty fun. So not little
That
baby like teeny tiny games either. Not the little baby man games. I mean the big boy ones. Finally,
awesome. Anything like, are you allowed to like name the company, or is it like an
no.
NDA
It's
thing?
not. See, that's the thing. It's not an NDA thing as much as it's just a mutual agreement that we're not going to talk about that because they don't even talk about it. And I'm like, there you go. I can say that at least two of the games are already out, but they're not like there's more to it coming. So
Yeah. All right. I tried to give you guys the inside scoop, but he wouldn't give it to me, so I
if I
tried.
had the power, I would give all the info. I told her I'm transparent, but listen, I don't want to get attacked right now. It's like we don't have an NDA, but I'm going to NDA your face. It's like, oh no, please, sir, I'm sorry, I didn't do it.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Brian, I want to say thank you for coming in. Definitely keep in contact with us, because, if anything else does come up, or if you have like any projects that you want to promote, we would love to have you on again. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience before we head out?
Well, if I may, every time I ever do anything, and this is with any podcast I've been on, this is with any panels that I'm going to be going to, anything in the world, I do want to say I end things not on a positive note, but on a random note of happiness to an extent, like I said earlier. And today I'm gonna just, I guess, no difference. I just want to say, yeah, like the theme of the entire podcast, enter a state of serenity. It's not easy. It's not something that you can just do overnight. And a lot of us out there that are struggling with just about everything. You could struggle with financial problems, romantic problems, platonic friend issues, family problems. You could struggle just getting out of bed in the morning because you just don't have the energy to. Depression, anxiety, whatever you might want to label it. If you have it, you have it, and you shouldn't be punished for it, is what I'm trying to get at. And you shouldn't punish yourself. And that's not something you can just wake up and say, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, abuse myself today. You can't help it. But you can start off as small as possible. Just make yourself breakfast in the morning because you deserve it. Go outside, see the sunshine for a minute. Even if you are a vampire like me, you won't burst into flames. I promise. The graphics engine outside is updated. It's going to be okay. Um, People out there, I know that some of us are lonely, and that's okay too. It's okay to not have any friends or anybody. And just remember, if you have a hobby, if you have something you like, go out there and explore it on the internet, explore it around your city. If you can't do that, well, just keep exploring it like on Discord groups or Reddit groups, Facebook groups, anything. Just talk to each other, talk to someone out there in the world. There's going to be other people like you out there. And there's going to be people who will tell you, look, you deserve a lot of love, you deserve a lot of life. And it may suck, and it may be, you may have some really bad days where you don't want to be here. And hey, we all get that. But you got to maintain that serenity. You got to find the path that you walk and walk the path that you're taking. You got to find your movement, is what I was told. Everybody has a movement. Everybody can wiggle their big toe their own way, so to speak, or wiggle their eyebrows or make a goofy voice. It's just all about what you're good at and what you want to do, and just take your time with it. Life ain't a race; it's a marathon. So there you go. Just try to be as good as you can to each other and to yourselves. Really, that's all there is to it.
One other question here. Sorry.
Mm.
All right. So, being that you are a voice actor,
Yeah.
for people who want to get into voice acting,
Ooh.
where would a good place to start be?
Well, I'll give you two. I'll give you two right out of the gate because this is a double-edged sword, and it's something that's really important to tell. And on this podcast, it's probably more important than not because it's something positive. Number one, you got to start up here in your head. I'm pointing to it. It's like I'm tapping my noodle a little bit hard too. If you sound look real close, it's like a coconut. It's all hollow up there. But you got to start up top. You got to understand mental health is key with it. If you want to be a voice actor, you got to learn to handle your successes and your failures. I mean, some people get real cocky when they get something good. Some people get real sad when they don't get anything at all. You got to just understand, go with the flow like a river. A river's not going to get pissed off because it got blocked off by a beaver dam. It might flood the dam and go, "You're mine now," and just like, flood it, wash it down river, and make the people down south go like, "Wait, what is all that going on?" But at the same time, if you get a success story, you got to be able to be peaceful and happy about it. Like, look, I did this, show it off to the whole world to go crazy with it. But don't worry too much about it. But once you conquer the mental side of it, when you go into it with at least a serenity in mind where you could just enjoy yourself without really comparing yourself too harshly to everybody else, you start off by getting the equipment. It's just not expensive. You get a microphone that's a good XLR microphone. I have a Scarlett. No, that's my audio interface. Dude, I'm professional, guys. I really promise. I have a Scarlett Gen 3 audio interface. I got an XLR microphone that's known as an Audio Technica 2020. You can pick all that up. Sweetwater, Amazon, $100, $200. It's cheap. It really is, and the investment comes back. If you want to apply for work, make yourself a Twitter and do what I told one guy back in the day. I said, be professional, but be human, because the director ain't going to want to hire someone who's a robot. You could do the best monologues in the world, but if you're not going to be able to talk better, then you're dead. So you might as well just, give up on that. If you have even if your voice is like totally monotone, that's great. Just learn how to work with the monotonous of that stuff. But yeah, go on Twitter after you get a good microphone set up. You can make your own demo. That's fine. And I will tell people how to do it right here. You make a 1-minute demo, 6 characters, 10 seconds to a character. That's fine. Make that the star of the show. Don't worry about sound effects or nothing. Just worry about your voice and start talking. Talk to people on Twitter. Talk to people on Facebook. Talk to people on Reddit. Go search up voice acting casting calls. You can go to castingcallclub.com even and be like, look, this is a baseline entry spot for people, and even some of the mid-tier dogs will still go back there if we're bored. You can go on anywhere that they do animations even and just start looking around for voice acting stuff. Don't pay though for like voices.com or something. Don't pay a subscription right out of the gate, because you're going to lose money doing that. But if anyone out there does want to try it, you can do it that way. You can also start streaming on any like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, anything. And just kind of, if you want to break into that mental side of it first, do that. Because then you're going to be talking to maybe 1 up to 100 people sometimes. And your brain's going to go, oh God, there's so many people. What do I do? And you might have a slight panic attack, but that's great, because if you can handle that, you're going to handle personal direction from some guy who's like, yes, I make $5 billion a day. Do this voice. It's like, but I don't know how to do it. You're going to learn real quick. Here's a bat and here's an orange slice. What do I do with this? I don't know. Figure it out, kid. It's like, there you go. You're going to learn that stuff real quick. But like I said, it starts up top with serenity in mind. You got to really, really love yourself and understand it's going to be hard some days. You're not going to get somewhere like immediately. But if you keep going at it, if you really like your cartoons when you were growing up, you really like your video games when you were growing up, you really want to be a part of that atmosphere, this is the best time to give it a try. So just go for it.
Awesome sauce. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, Brian. Thank you, audience, for taking a listen to this podcast. And as always, stay positive.